So we've all had a few months of dealing with the new forms and regulations for how compensation is paid to the buyer's agent. So I want to make sure you're aware of what we need for our escrow to make sure that it runs smoothly. We're always going to need a copy of the BRBC showing the amount of compensation that the buyer has agreed to pay to you. And if the seller is agreeing to cover any portion of that, then we're going to need the SPBB also. If the amounts on the BRBC and the SPBB are the same, then that's all we're going to need for escrow, and we can prepare our compensation instructions from there. However, if those amounts don't coincide, we're going to need to know how that difference is being handled. For example, if the BRBC is showing that the buyer is agreeing to 3% compensation, and however the SPBB is showing that the seller is only agreeing to cover 2.5% of that, we need to know what's happening with that additional 0.5%. If the buyer is going to pay it, then we'll prepare compensation instructions showing that. However, if you're agreeing as the buyer's agent to waive that additional 0.5% since the seller isn't agreeing to cover it, we will need in escrow a modification to your buyer representation agreement showing that you're agreeing to the 2.5%. The amount of compensation listed on the BRBC needs to match the amount of compensation that's being paid to the buyer's agent through escrow, whether that is to come solely from the buyer, from the seller, or a combination of both. If you provide that information and those forms to us when your escrow opens, we are able to get your escrow instructions typed and out that much quicker. I hope this information was valuable to you, and remember, choose your escrow.